My nigga, this is dedication. This is anti-hesitation. It's a real nigga celebration. It's a dime block declaration. 59th and 5th Ave, granny house with vanilla wafers. It's the remedy to separation. Tupac of my generation. Blue pill in the fucking matrix. Red rose in the great pavement. Young black nigga trapped and he can't change it. Know he a genius, he just can't claim it. Cause they left him no platforms to explain it. He frustrated so he get faded. But deep down inside he know you can't fade him. How long should I stay dedicated? How long till opportunity meet preparation? I need some real nigga reparations, or I run up in your bank just for recreation. Dedication, hard work, plus patience. To some more of my sacrifice, I'm done waiting. Told you that I wasn't playing. Now you hear what I've been saying. Dedication. Dedication. Look.
I spent my whole life thinking out the box. Boxing homies 3-on-1, got DP, but I ain't dropped. Chirp on me, here I come. Spin around the block, they blurped on me. Said I ran a stop sign, but that's a lie. I spent my whole life staring at the stage, playing Sega, daddy smoking Sherm, mama playing spades, catching vapors. Grandma said I get some Jordans for my grades, that's my baby. When she died, my heart broke 100 ways. I spent my whole life trying to make it, trying to chase it. The cycle of a black man divided, trying to break it. You take a lost shit, don't cry about it, just embrace it. Mine a setback for major comeback, that's my favorite. My nigga L said you do it song with Nip. K-Dot here better grip. I said he a man first, you hear the words out his lips about flourishing from the streets to black businesses. Level 4 y'all living, giving to false imprisonment. Listen close, my nigga, it's bigger than deuces and foes, my nigga. Since elementary we close, my nigga, you're straight like that. I give you the game, go back to the turf and give it right back. For generations we've been dealt bad hands with bad plans. Prove your dedication by hopping out Grand Ams. I'm at the premiere, politicking with Top Nip and Snoop. Damn, clock watching the way we grew from dedication.
Hello guys, and welcome back to Motorsports Review. And in today's video I'm here to talk on some unfortunate times. A lot of things have been happening recently, and I think it's important that I really take the time to really speak out to the people, the public. A lot of our leaders haven't been very good leaders, and that's very shameful, especially during times like this. We need actual leaders to really stand up for us. We need actual leaders to really make a difference for us. We need actual leaders to really put themselves on the line to really speak out on these issues, and we don't really have that right now. Our leaders, our people in power, our people who really have a voice for us, our people that we look up to sometimes, people that we know, people that we support all the way, really don't have our backs right now. And it's all the people putting out this fight. This fight is only a people's fight, and our leaders are too ashamed to really come out. They're ashamed of us when we're the ones who put them in power. We're the ones, we're talking about elected officials. We're talking about people that we, we've supported, and we need their support back in return. They need to be really genuine. I'm tired of hearing tweets. I'm tired of seeing tweets. It's time that they actually put, the time, energy to really speak out for this. They can post things like, if you're not with us, then we ain't with y'all. We have a kid singing about him being black.
I'm a young black man, doing all that I can to stand over when I look around and I see what's being done to my kind.
Do we really need that right now? And a picture of this person himself wearing a shirt that says, "I can't breathe." We need an actual leader to really come out there and protest with us. I can't even go protesting because the media already spread some false narratives on it. And people just believe this and they start spreading this. And this idea becomes very dangerous because then that also promotes, other people like white supremacists, anarchists, or like, just cops that are going against this whole system. I mean, cops that are with the system and want to protect the system and do anything to make, protesters look bad. So they go out there, they cause the trouble, and then this starts expanding. Then you get people who are causing more dangerous items because they see that the protesters haven't, backed down. And once they get the support, the so-called support of the governors, you have crazy people, lunatics, going out, trying to harm them. Truck drives through protesters on a highway, and the guy gets shoved. I don't know what he was expecting. And what really makes me mad is the police come afterwards. They beat people. They, pepper spray them, and the whole thing goes loose. And what I really want people to see is that these people aren't here to harm you. They're here to make a statement. And this is not just about Floyd, but this is for 400 years of oppression, 400 years of mass incarceration, 400 years of being looked down upon by our own color, 400 years of making our way to the top, 400 years of suffering, 400 years to really push ourselves to reach our dreams and goals. But that is not what it means to be an American. American is being willing to accept those differences and come together. Especially in the age of a pandemic. You think these people would have sat down? We're already fed up. We had Ahmaud die. We lost Ahmaud Arbery. Then after that, we lost Breonna Taylor. And then after that, we lose George Floyd. And they expected that people would stay silent and probably just post up. No. They went out to protest. You had a few people, then after like the first 2 days, I get it. People were very mad. Not that I'm excusing the fact that they burnt down buildings, but people keep making that point, oh, they burnt down buildings, oh, that's shameful. These buildings have insurance. You can replace all those things. You can replace all of that. But you can't replace a life. Stop making that, idea, stop putting that idea in people's heads. If you burn down a building today, it'll be insured by tomorrow, Insurance will cover it. Everything, they'll do everything. I mean, it'll take a while to really get it back. It won't be that easy, but you just make an insurance claim. I'm sure you might have a hard time here and there, but in the end, you're gonna get, what was damaged back. You're gonna get what you had before back, because then, what was the point in paying so much money for insurance? These guys have, $1 million covered in insurance for their buildings, but George Floyd's life ain't coming back. You can't bring that back. And that's really what's shameful now. Our leaders, who claim to be our leaders, the one that we put in power, really just make statements but are never out there. Our celebrities in mansions and stuff enjoying themselves while there's someone out there hungry who has no house. That someone out there gets sprayed with pepper spray, has nowhere to go because he done nothing wrong, and you there are sitting at your house watching the news. You know exactly what's going on. You all know exactly what's going on. Some of you take a major step and actually protest with us, and that was really good. That's what it's really about. That's what being American is about. It's about fighting for what's wrong and always taking a stand for what's right. You fight against what's wrong, you take a stand for what's right. You accept people of different backgrounds and you welcome them. But this also has become an open eye for us. Now we know exactly who's with us and who's not. We understand who are the true people we want to work with. We understand who's really with us now. And I think that's what's really important. Every American's watching. Every American's watching for what's next. Some of them are against our cause, and some of them are with our cause. But at the end of the day, every American's watching to see what happens next. Some are making the move to make us look bad. Like I said, the white supremacists, the anarchists, the cops that are really against it. It's all out there. There's all evidence against it. I mean, these are the same officers that went in and destroyed a medic tent and slashed tires in Kmart. Now, we don't have a full confirmation, but we do have a confirmation that all people were in that area were removed. We also know that no medics were allowed. The medics were kicked out. The medic tent was destroyed. The tires were popped. No one was let in, and no one could get out until after a while, when everything was over. People went back. I mean, the sad part is people who came from far away couldn't get back to their cars and get to where they could sleep. They probably had hotel rooms and they couldn't go back because they had no car to drive back to. They had to hide in the shadows, not to get hurt or not to get even arrested, because there'll be nobody to bail them out. And that's really the sad part. I think that is very shameful. The fact that you imprison people who come for a good cause and haven't done anything wrong yet, and you put them in a cell just because you assume that they're doing some wrong things. Now, I think everyone's making this point, it's the protesters that are rioting. Haven't you not noticed that the area where the protesters are and where the rioters are, they're two different places. They're quite far away. They have quite a long distance away from each other. They're not in the same area, and the rioters don't come for the same intention. They take advantage of the situation so they don't get blamed for it. Oh, the cops know what's going on. Chief makes a statement and then hides away. There's only one chief in history I've seen ever to really speak against their own officers. Talk about, telling them what's really wrong. And I actually want to congratulate the chief of Minnesota. It's probably the first chief I've seen who really took a stand. In Milwaukee, they wouldn't do that. Our own chief. Many other chiefs. And in America, there's a game of capitalism. So what do you think happened to them? They're probably a part of crimes. Who knows? We know they're in a game of capitalism with them. People who are very wealthy may take advantage of the situation. But we need real leaders to really say no to that and start being there for our own communities. Really standing up. The American people have lost trust for the police. Many. We're talking in major cities. And you have rioters taking advantage of that situation. And it's very shameful. We have also instigators. We need them to step down. It's already sad enough. The community doesn't want police in their, communities because they already fear for what happened. They're devastated. They're angered. And they need peace. I think what was very beautiful last night and for the past 6 nights, I spent the time actually watching the people come together and sit around with each other. I saw them come together, hold hands in the midst of a pandemic. Yes, there are people that didn't even know each other, but they were able to come together. And it's sad enough that it was in a sad situation. I hope it was, I wish the situation could have been better. But they came together, hold hands, and really spoke their mind about how they felt about the situation. These are people of many different races. It's not just one race. So don't even bother making that argument. If you didn't see it, don't speak about it. That's what it is at this point. You need to start taking both views and really think about it. You take one opinion from a news station, and you also don't bother to take the opinion of an independent media source, a nonprofit organization who really took the time to speak to these people and see what they had to say. And if you really listen to what they had to say, they said some beautiful things. And I don't get this. Why do they go for the drunk people? They make it seem like the protesters are just all drunk and they don't know what's going on. And some of them, they make it seem like they're uneducated. No. You just gotta really look for it. But the media is not willing to look for it. Unless today is the day they need to open their eyes and start talking to these people. Now, I'm not gonna say they always do that, you know. CNN recently talked to some young people, also someone who is leading some of these protests, and he really spoke out on some amazing things. Actually, let me give it to you for you to listen, and you tell me, does this sound like a drunk man to you? Watch. So what did you think of that? What did you think? How did that make you feel? And this was not a surprise. I mean, the event was, but the way that people reacted wasn't a surprise. We knew this was coming. People were gonna get fed up. But they went back to their ways of being peaceful people protesting. And I think that's really what's important. We need to stop making these false statements against them and really start doing some amazing things in our own communities. We really need to take the steps. We really need to take the steps to really change these laws and make it fair for the community. If I commit a crime today, I can be arrested, prosecuted, and all in one day. Maybe even for the longest 5 days. You know, at least I would get arrested. That's a statement I really want to make. That's the thing I'm gonna say first. I could get arrested for a crime, but for someone else, like a cop, spend 5 days, 4 days in their house enjoying themselves, saying their last things to their, family. I don't get that chance. I get that over the phone. I can't spend the last few days with my own family and then hope to go to jail. No. He spends the last few days sitting there. He doesn't care. He thought he wasn't gonna get arrested. Boom. The guy gets arrested, gets charged. Third-degree murder is already bad. I mean, that's not even like anything. For the least, what I should say is that he should have got first degree. That would have been even better. That's really what we wanted to see, but that didn't happen for him. And that's the sad part about it. They really need to step out here and start being there out for us. We elected you in the office. Stop sending people out there to speak to us. Stop telling us that we need to just vote and protest peacefully when you're not even out there with us. Stop doing that to us. Look us in the eye as people. We are people. You know we are people. So start looking at us like people. Stop looking at us like we're animals, when you can see that we are humans. Alright? It reminds me of something, Tupac said a long time ago. And it was in an interview where he spoke about, in fact, let me just play the interview for you to see. Right? I'll play two of them. One is about, how people are supporting the phonies. And the other, relates with today's situation. Let's see those clips real quick.
What I want people to know is that don't support the phonies. Support the real. You know what I mean? How can these people be talking about how they so real and they don't care about our communities? How can they be talking about what they, all this, the hood, blah, 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 blah. They don't care about our communities. You know what I mean? Listen to the words that people say in their lyrics and tell me if that's some real, if that's real to you. You know what I mean? Listen to what they saying. Don't just bob your head to the beat. Peep the game and listen to what I'm saying and hold us accountable for it. If I know that in this hotel room they have food every day, and I'm knocking on the door every day to eat, and they open the door, let me see the party, let me see like them throwing salami all over just like throwing food around, but they're telling me there's no food in there. You know what I'm saying? Every day, I'm standing outside trying to sing my way in. You know what I'm saying? We are hungry, please let us in. We are hungry, please let us in. After about a week, that song is going to change to, we hungry, we need some food. After 2-3 weeks, it's like, give me all the food, breaking out the door. And after a year, you just like, I'm picking the lock, coming through the door, blasting, you know what I'm saying? It's like you hungry, you reached your level, you don't want any more. We asked 10 years ago. We was asking with the Panthers. We was asking with them, with civil rights movement. We was asking, know, now those people that were asking, they're all dead and in jail. So now what do you think we're going to do?
Okay, so how did those clips make you feel? How did you feel when you heard him say that? If that's not enough, we can even go deeper than that, you know. Also, make sure you guys check out Unicorn Riot. I think, you know, you should also support their organization. They do some amazing things. They actually take the time, besides other medias. Now, I know I've never been reviewed by them, you know, I never spoke to them, but, you know, I've spent some time, you know, I spent the last 5-6 days watching these protests, keeping, you know, just checking on the situation. You know, I didn't want to go to sleep worried, you know, for these people, especially during a time like this. And there's been a lot that's going on, but these people are, you know, they're empowered, they're strong. They ain't gonna stop for some threat. No. These are people that are just fed up with what's going on, and they're willing to do anything to get justice. And I think that's really important to us. We need to understand that. We are the American people. We are the ones who select our elected officials. Our own president is scared and living under a bunker. Do we really want that representation for our own people? Do we want that? No, we don't. We need true leaders to take true actions, you know, real actions for our own communities. Mass incarceration is at its highest, like I said. 37%. And the ones with the most, you know, incarceration rates are African Americans, Puerto Rican Americans, and Native Americans. And let me also say this, stop taking these subtitles, you know, African American. No, we're all Americans at the end of the day. I think what really causes, you know, it's just like evil insight. And I learned that during, you know, watching one of these, you know, interviews. If I can put that up, I might put that video up for you guys to hear, that audio to hear, for you guys to really hear what the guy said. And it really related. Because, you know, he mentioned how if you like go to any other country, you can go to any country like Iraq, you know, you can go to Saudi Arabia, you can go to China, you know, you can go to Australia. And you know what they say? They say, you know, they don't ask you, are you an African American? They don't ask you if you're a Puerto Rican American. They don't ask you if you're an Asian American. They don't ask you if you're a Native American. What do they ask you? They ask you, are you an American? They ask you if you are an American. They don't ask you all those subtitles. Stop taking those subtitles. At the end of the day, you are an American. An American. You live in America. And you speak English in America. Well, besides that point, but you are an American, okay? You are an American. If you're living here every day, and and you can take those titles like, oh, I'm, you know, an African American, then you are an American. Stop taking these, you know, sub names, because that's what's really causing the issues. People take these names, and then it's dividing us, you know. It already divides you already. I mean, saying African American, you know, and people start looking a different way. But if we all said we are Americans and came together, I doubt people would be looking the way they look. See, all these things are set up to divide us. Even building highways. It's shameful enough that there's history of that in our own American history. Providing the bridge gap. You know, the rich versus poor. And it's sickening, it's sad. Community is divided. Community is not even willing to accept. But in your own community, you accept all. But in their communities, they don't accept you because of the way you look. Go deeper in that. Go deeper in that sense and really look inside of me. See the way I think, the way I talk to you. You know, I shouldn't be dressing fancy just for you to accept me. I want to see people actually accept me for who I am at the end of the day. And that's what's important. We are the American people. We stand for what's right. We don't stand, you know, with racism. It should have been gone a long time ago. Americans are evolving. Americans are becoming more accepting. And we don't need someone to stop us from doing that. The new America's coming. White America sure will not be here. It will be all America. Because we are all American. I'm an all-American. I don't live in white America. I live in all America. That's the true America. It's the accepting of different cultures and the willingness to really look at us for who we are, not how we look. And I think that's very important. Now I need to see those elected officials, I need to see those celebrities get out there and really say something. Now I've said a lot, and I'll continue on, but maybe there'll be a part 2 to this video because there's a lot more for me to say. These are American people. And it's sad enough that we had one chief out of the whole United States, out of all those interviews, one chief speaks against these actions of these officers. And I know in most of those states, they know exactly what their officers do, but how many of them are willingly gonna say, oh, those people are criminals, you know? He fired them the first day. Now I know he doesn't have, you know, every ability to prosecute them, but there's a possibility he would have for his own community. That's what it's talking. That's what America's really all about. And to the message to the racists, the white supremacists, the anarchists, the people who are really causing trouble, I want you to take my word for this, okay? America's gonna change either way. America's gonna evolve over this either way. Soon you'll fall powerless. And every day we find out something new. We're learning new stuff. We're learning new tricks. And we're catching up to, you know, what you're trying to do. We're gonna reveal your secrets. And sooner or later you'll be gone. There won't be none of you. And thinking about re-educating your children ain't gonna happen. Education's very important because it can really teach people about, you know, what they should be careful about. It can really teach people about, you know, the hardship that we face. And, you know, just meeting different people shows you empathy, you know? Learning about their backgrounds and learning about that person's background, you guys can start kind of, you know, understanding each other. And I think that's really important. That's what I hope millions of Americans understand. I don't want to see that Americans have to really suffer anymore. But I want Americans to really come together, be able to hold hands like it should be every day. We shouldn't have divides. And I think what's really dividing us also is political parties. That shouldn't be really a thing. If you have someone who's independent, Americans don't even look at them. Because they either ask you if you're a Republican or Democrat. They don't ask you, you know, I, for one, don't believe that's right. And, you know, we have a president that makes the anti-fascists look bad. Fascism, for those of you who don't understand, you know, you can take it as, you know, Hitler and his, you know, neo-Nazis. That's an example of fascism. It's sad. But Americans are really starting to find out, you know, they're starting to learn really what they're doing behind our backs. And now we know who's really with us. Now we know who's really, you know, supporting us. And just know those people that went against us, that didn't bother to join us, you ain't gonna be in office not long. And I also want to go back to the point where when the officer, you know, said, you know, those officers were complicit. Now, how many chiefs have you heard said that? How many officers have you said that? Now I know, not all officers are bad, but I don't want to really go deep into that point because right now ain't the time. And I hate those people that, you know, come out with that statement where they like go against what's really going on. Like, when you say Black Lives Matter, they say all lives matter. When you say, oh, all these cops are bad, they say not all cops are bad. They put out these videos. But right now ain't the time. Right now we're focused on getting justice. And after that, we can discuss that. When the people are able to get the trust of the officers again, then maybe we could, you know, then we might believe that. But for now, Americans don't even have the trust for officers. So don't bother posting that type of stuff, that BS right now, because that's what they believe it is. It's already sick enough. 3 incidents happened in 1 year within probably 2 weeks of each other. We didn't even have a, you know, take the time to really look into these cases. Because now we have to worry about all these 3 different cases. And they say they're going to do an investigation for a while, but what does that mean? That means, oh, 10 years later, oh, he's found not guilty. 10 years of waiting. That ain't a thing for Americans no more. They want the answers now, and they need them now. And it's time that leaders really stick up and join them. Because if you put your voice out there too, then Americans really know what's seriously what's going on. They're going to support you too. Start being a leader. Stop being scared. Start getting out there. And it's not just one person. You know, I called out one person, but it's more than one person out there. I can name a lot of names. You know, even our former president. I haven't seen him out there. I don't know what he's worried about. You're a former president. You're the one that put you in power. Why would we want to hurt you? You know, you have Secret Service and everything. You need to get out there and really start doing some stuff. Now, I haven't really seen him make a statement, because I think probably if he makes a statement, people are going to say the same thing, but we're still saying something. We want to see him actually out there doing something. I don't care if he disguised himself as somebody else and, you know, said, oh, today I disguised myself as this person, I went out there. Just get out there. Rappers, get out there. Anybody, just get out there and make your voice heard, because that's what's important at the end of the day. All right, so that'll be the end for today's video. I don't care if you like, subscribe. I don't even care, man. Just, I guess, post your questions in the comments. Maybe some things that you wonder, like, you're probably wondering, well, you know, why are they like burning down buildings, or, you know, just any question about this situation, I'll be willing to answer and hopefully incorporate that in the next video, you know. But yeah, I don't care if you guys like, you can dislike, I don't even care at this point. It's not even, you know, I don't even care if you subscribe, to be honest, right now. I think right now it's just about getting the message. And I'm not doing that whole give me 10 likes and I'll make a part 2. No. I'm making a part 2 either way. I'm getting my voice heard. I'm putting my voice out there. And I hope you do too. This is Abubakar on Motorsports Review. Until then, I'll see you guys next time. You can also message me, like, if you have any questions on, you know, Instagram. Maybe the Baker's back. I'll leave that in the description. Or, you know, on Snapchat. But yeah, that'll be all for today's video. If you want, you can go check out the Driven store. At this point, I don't really care. So yeah, that'll be all for today's video. But until tomorrow, I'll see you guys next time.